Hey, this is Big Skinny with another episode of Texas Backyard BBQ and more. Today, we are bringing you a Mexican-inspired dish. How about a taco stuffed tomato? It's all coming your way next on Texas Backyard BBQ and more. Let's get smoking. So in order to make these stuffed tomatoes happen, we've got to make a hollow spot in this tomato, and this is how you do it. We're going to cut the tops off of them. And we don't want to cut too much of the top. We want to leave a pretty good portion of this tomato. And we're going to take this knife and we're going to cut around the outside edge of this tomato all the way around. Then you're going to take your ordinary kitchen spoon and you're just going to core this thing out. And what I like to do is I've already got this pan here from some we've previously done. I'm going to save all this tomato juice and all the seeds and everything, and it's going to go in our hamburger meat that we're going to season up here shortly. All right, so we got our tomatoes on the grill face side down. The trick to this is not to let them get too soft because we're going to put our meat and cheese in them and we're going to throw them back on the grill here in just a few. So we just want to get a little color on them because that color is going to add some flavor. So while these grill for just a few minutes, we're going to head back over to our stove and we're going to season our meat up. All right, so what we're doing now is we're just crumbling our ground beef into our pan. We want to make sure that this meat is well done. It's going to be cooked very well. We don't want any raw in this. So we're going to let this cook down, let it get good and brown, let all this tomato incorporate into this, and we're going to see in a few. All right, you can see we've got the color on the tomatoes and we didn't go too long. These are actually going to develop more color as we go along, but we just wanted to get a little bit of that started so whenever we get ready to stuff these with the meat, the cheese, we've already got a head start on that heating process. So these are looking really good at the moment. You can see this mixture here starting to come to a boil. That means we're getting good and hot. Just going to keep swirling this around this pan until this meat gets good and done. And we're trying to incorporate this leftover tomato in this as well. So that's going to help with our flavor of our meat. So we're just going to keep cooking this till we get it good and brown. All right, as you can see, our meat's very well done. It's got some great texture to it. You'll notice that all the tomato we put in there earlier, all that is gone. It's dehydrated. What we're going to do now is we're going to add about a cup of water to this meat. And we're going to add our taco seasoning. And you can use any kind of taco seasoning you want. We got good old Taco Bell original seasoning here. We're just going to take that, we're going to pour it in here and mix it up really, really well. Just going to stir it in, make sure it's all incorporated. You're looking for that nice brown color there. Just roll it around here. And as you notice, we didn't add any salt, any pepper, no garlic to this meat. All we're using is this taco seasoning because by the time you add your cheese and all your other ingredients, you're going to get that salt and you don't want to overdo it. We're going to bring this to a boil. We're going to let this reduce by about half. And at that time, we'll be able to stuff these tomatoes. We'll see you in a few. All right, so we've cooked this meat. We've got all the water, all the liquid out of it, and this meat is this is a really great consistency on this meat. You can tell it's all good and brown. It's got that nice brown color, all that seasoning is mixed up well in it. So we're just gonna pull it off of our fire here. Gonna kind of slide it over here to the side. And you can find you some kind of way to measure it out. We're gonna use a 1/4 of a cup measuring cup just to fill these tomatoes up with. Try to make sure we get as equally loaded as we can. And we're just going to dump that meat right in there, just like that. Very simple. I'm a pretty simple guy. We're going to keep going until we get these tomatoes filled up. We're using about a 1/4 of a cup for this. You just want to make sure they're all kind of evenly loaded up. You don't want to be that guy that gets, the tomato that's only half full, because that'd be me. I'd be the one screaming about it. Right there. Man, that looks good, doesn't it? So what we're going to do next is we're just going to sprinkle some cheese across the top of it, because you can't have a taco without cheese, right? Look at that. We're using a Fiesta blend cheese on this. We thought about using a taco blend, but we was already using the taco meat seasoning. We thought maybe that'd been a little overkill, so we like the Fiesta blend. It works really well. It's tough to get your big old fingers in these bags. They don't make them for guys with big hands. I got my little helper down here looking for some cheese dropping. All right, we got the tomatoes stuffed. We are ready to put them on the grill. We're gonna let these go for about 15 minutes or so. We want this cheese to get good and melted, and we want these tomatoes to get a little softer. That's gonna cause that flavor to really pop when those tomatoes start to burst a little bit. So we're looking for that soft tomato to add to the flavor of this. We'll be back to check on it in about 15, 20 minutes. We'll see you then. All right, it's time to take these tomatoes off of this grill. You can tell these things are really good and toasted up. Look at that. Look at that cheese melting on there, man. That's what we're looking for right there. That good bubbling cheese. Those tomatoes got a whole lot softer on us. Look at that. Those look amazing. All right, we've got these tomatoes where we want them, man. We've beat them into submission. We've got these things nice and soft. They ain't talking back to us. We got them filled with cheese, taco seasoning meat, and we are ready to eat. We're gonna get these things plated up, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Stick around. So what I like to do when I serve these, I like serving them with a little bit of lettuce on the bottom. This is a taco, folks. You gotta have your lettuce for your taco. At least we do in Texas. Looky there. And we ain't done yet. We ain't done with the lettuce. This is one of those vegetables I'll eat. Gonna throw a little bit of this lettuce on top. Because when you buy a taco, you gotta have your lettuce and cheese on there, right? Gonna throw just a little more cheese over the top. Just like that right there. What's a taco without taco sauce? We got us some good old Taco Bell hot sauce. We're just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that on there. And I only do about half of those because there's some folks that don't like spicy. And to close it off here, to finish it off here, I'm a big fan of texture. So you gotta have your taco shell if you got a tomato, right? So we're gonna put some nacho cheese Doritos right over the top. And you could add a little sour cream to this if you'd like as well. And there you have it. Our taco tomatoes. We call them our Taco Tuesday tomatoes. You fix them, you try them, you tell me what you think about them. Until next time, this is Big Skinny. Let's get out in that backyard and get smoking. This is Texas Backyard BBQ and more.